because I'm Rob Chappers.
And I'm the captain. We are straight out of the 80s with these Jackson, actually they're not really from the 80s, well they probably were originally, but we're in the 2013s now.
Yes, with these Jackson crafted with quality in China, £100 pieces of amazement. I'm amazed, Lee.
Well, I'm amazed too. So this is that's the JS11, this is the JS12. The only difference between the two, other than the colour, is the fact that this is 24 fret and that's 22 fret.
Yes.
It's basically a classic Dinky shape. So you've got all the kind of cool things on a Dinky, the sort of the super strat design, two Jackson designed humbuckers, a flat sort of 12-inch radius, standard 25.5-inch scale length with a kind of skinny neck. The Jackson kind of classic sixer-size, pointy, take your eye out, mind out, playground style headstock.
Yeah, but they come with their limitations and they come with their good points and bad points, both of which we will give to you today in this no-holds-barred honest review.
But just in case, because Rob said it so quickly at the beginning of that, you didn't catch it. Yes, £100. Not weight, I'm talking money, including VAT, £100. And this one, less than £120. Which, to be honest with you, although still cheap, I do find somehow I feel that's expensive 2 extra frets. 20% extra price just to literally have 2 extra frets. This one here, that's £10, and that one was £10 as well.
Yeah. Well,
nonetheless, still crazy.
Is, when you're in the business of manufacturing guitars, as I am, and I suppose as you are, you get an understanding of how expensive it is to make a guitar and how difficult it is to make a guitar for £100.
I genuinely am staggered.
Yes, I'm staggered too.
Basswood body.
I'm staggered, as is this one fret, which is slightly ajar.
Well, I think you've got to accept. I think the one thing that we found on Rob's guitar that was kind of, there's a knob.
All it is that when you turn it, it just points to the whole room. It's like, yeah, come on, you ready for my rock? It's like just going, you ready? You ready?
So I guess that's probably fairly simple just to take on and off.
It's got a bit of a wiggly knob. One of the frets is a little bit proud.
Yeah, and the trem system is pretty... Well, do you know what? It's not as bad as... It's stiff, so it's not a... I mean, I'll show you. It sounds great, doesn't it? Hang on. I'll show you what you can...
That's great. I thought that was going to detune.
So it's a 2-pivot, which actually is kind of off of the like the Fender American stuff now with the 2-pivot trem system, and it is a little bit less. It is a bit better for tuning than the vintage style trem, but.
Well, so basically the deal is they're made of basswood, maple neck, rosewood body, jumbo frets, so wood, humbuckers from Jackson, which I'm going to assume are Chinese humbuckers.
Probably.
Jackson, so Chinese Jackson branded parts. But here's the thing though. Yes, there are a couple of the little bits wrong, but you're spending £100 on a guitar. You're going to expect something.
It's a bit like, I mean, if you're on minimum wage in the UK, I don't know if you even have that in America, but in the UK we have minimum wage, and I think it's about £6 or £7 an hour. So you are now talking about work hard for 2 days and buy one of these.
Yeah,
it's like how like mental is that?
Well, I think if you went to a shop and chose one that you liked and that you were happy with, I think you get an absolute bargain. Yes, there are a couple of issues with the quality of this particular one. That one had a screw that came out you had to put back in, but. And here's a big but, they sound pretty good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. You know what, mate? It's just not feeling right. I just don't feel comfortable.
I'm scared to just adjust myself.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming that way. It's coming that way.
Definitely.
Hold on, can you just give me a hand with that?
Yeah, sorry, I'll just get that bit out.
Nice one.
Might have a sandwich with that later on. Do you know what the crazy thing is? If I go for legal advice with, Andertons Music Company's lawyers, my lawyer could afford to buy one of these in exchange for about 5 minutes worth of advice. I'm serious. Probably more like 10 minutes worth.
Would you prefer 5 minutes advice or a guitar?
I know, or a guitar. It's just insane.
Yes.
They both come in either black or white. So if you want to be none more black, you can even with the 24 fret model. Or if you want to be whiter than white, you can even with the 22 fret model.
Now we went through a bunch of different kinds of amplifiers to bring you these tones today. We thought, it wouldn't be fair just to use a nice expensive JVM 410 from Marshall and a Zilla Fat Boy,
which does sound fantastic. So yeah, classic Marshall. Exactly what the guys from kind of Bon Jovi would have been using back in the 80s. And so I've got the bridge pickup gives it that biting. And then the neck pickup gives it that slightly fatter. Or I can have them both together. But killer sound, £120 guitar, but in fairness through like a £1,500 amplifier.
So I went through lots of different kinds of amplifier to kind of bring you a more affordable tone. We tried the Dark Terror. We did try a super expensive, very nice
Rockerverb.
Rockerverb 50. We ended up using this Blackstar HT5, taking a line out and going into this Orange 212, just because we got an Orange 212 sat underneath it. You could use the combo. This is some great tones, more affordable style. I'll take mine on standby as well.
I think you should. I find amps work better like that.
So I've got a slightly more modern tone using the HT5. It's got that slightly scooped, boomy bass top sort of hitting you in the face thing.
Bassy, yeah, because you've covered all the bases.
I have covered all of them.
It's like a weatherman that goes, it might be sunny, rainy, windy.
No, but the bass end is like what, whereas yours is more like wet.
Wet.
Yeah.
What love is all around.
Yeah.
I don't say anything like that.
It's got a funky, modern sort of metal tone. Like.
You were literally just about to play that riff that I was trying to tell you about.
Oh, you mean Steel Panther?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, Lee was saying, what's that riff you play? It sounds really good. And I'm like, what is it? He goes, and I'm like, I don't know, explain it more in detail. And he couldn't. And it's Steel Panther.
So let's check this one out.
Earlier today, I taught Lee a riff I said he should play in this video, which I think brings you a new side of the Chapman.
It is.
See if you can do it.
I don't know.
do the tapping thing.
I did.
So here are the tones for you. Humbucker number 1. It's a 3-way, so bring it up to the next bit. nice tone, actually. What's it like backed off? And here's the neck pickup for you. And you can drop tune them. It's score time.
It's score time.
I got some feedback of the latest roadshow I did where people went, you know what, we really like that score thing you do because it's honest.
It is honest.
We're all about honesty here.
We should
at
get some
Andertons.
cards like they do on Strictly Come Dancing. 7!
Yeah, can we do that in a slightly more metal way though? Okay, marks out of 10.
8!
I'm going to give this 2 marks.
2 marks?
Yeah, I'm going to be slightly
Groucho
innovative.
and,
I'm gonna give it, yeah, that's right.
the other one.
2 marks. If you've only got 100 quid to spend on a guitar,
Yes.
I'm going to give this 8.5.
If you, do you know what? Judging based on what else I know that £100 would buy you, i.e. not a lot, I'd go even higher than that.
I wouldn't, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay.
If you go to a second-hand shop with £100,
Yeah.
you could get yourself a Yamaha Pacifica, you could get yourself an LTD, you can get yourself a
You're
lot.
completely right.
Yes.
But I think guys that are going to go shopping in second-hand shops
Yes.
have got to be reasonably comfortable with basic guitar maintenance themselves.
Oh, I agree.
'Cause
This is what I'm
There's
saying.
no point going to a second-hand store, picking up a guitar that's basically a dog, and then going to a place like Andertons, giving it to our guitar tech and going, can you make this play nice?
Well, you've got to
If
shop
he's-
around. If you're prepared to spend
Yeah.
a week shopping around, looking all over the places and getting a good second-hand shop and finding something really good, you can do it.
Yeah.
I reckon you could find something better if
Yeah.
you shop around
But
and
you-
you've got the time.
if you-
However,
if you've got the time
100
and the
quid
knowledge.
and you just want to get a guitar that you can use straight away,
Yeah.
this is an 8.5 to me.
Yeah.
If you've got more than 100 quid, this is a resounding 5.
And I think, again, you've got to remember how Chappers scores these. This is kind of like, this is a 5 because a £2,500 PRS would be a 9.
Well, or a
That's-
great Les Paul standard would be an 8.59.
Yeah.
How do you score them?
8.59. Again, I suppose, bearing in mind, again, now this is, you might not believe us or whatever, these are set up how they were out the box with the strings on that came in the box.
No,
They are.
they were until I replaced this one with an 11
Oh,
gauge
you put a
string.
heavier gauge on it.
I
This one
did.
isn't. This one is.
No, that
straight
one's
out the box.
exactly out of the
But
box,
the
yeah.
setup is as it is. I think
Yes.
the pickups sound great. I think for £100, it's a complete steal. And I think, you know, with an amplifier like the Blackstar HT5, which again you can pick
Interesting.
up for about 300.
We'd like to know
350.
which tone do you prefer, the JVM 10 or this Blackstar? Just be completely honest. You know,
Yeah.
which one do you think sounds better with these guitars? You know?
Yeah. I mean, again, of course, if it was a money no object and I could have anything I liked, then yeah, I think probably a score of about 5 or 6 is probably fair. But I'm not even. I think you've got to score it with the fact that it's £100.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
if you got that to spend,
yeah,
it's an 8.
because
You know?
yeah, I mean, again, what could you? There's certainly nothing. You know, if you were looking at Squire, you'd be looking at a Bullet. I think this is better than a Bullet. If
It's
you were
definitely
looking
better than a Bullet.
If you were looking at even
ECs.
the cheapest Yamaha now
Yeah.
is
180.
yeah, about 180. This is
Yeah.
definitely, I think, on a par with that cheaper Yamaha, the Pacifica 012. I think it's better than the cheap, the EC50. I think it's
Yeah.
better than an EC50.
Well, there you go.
But I suppose, in fairness, guitars are subjective.
Do you know what we
aren't
just
they?
did? We just delivered a large scoop of honesty to YouTube
Yeah.
about everything. So basically, they're good
They
and
are
they're
good.
bad.
They're good, and again, but they're good, but be realistic. You know, if you're gonna, there's no point buying one of these and then kind of going, oh look, you know, the knob's a bit wonky, or the.
If you're going to get one, hardtail it,
Yeah.
raise the action slightly. They set them up in the factory with a very straight neck because they're for kids and they want to put 9s on them and have a really low action. Raise the action, put a little bit of relief in the neck. You've got yourself a great Warhorse guitar.
Yeah, I'm really liking this. I've had fun. It's taken me back to the spandex heady heights of wigs, spandex, large
And
sausages
heights.
down trousers, and great rock music.
Euro music. I'm Rob Chapman.
I've been the captain.